today we're very grateful to have Nina.Hegyi. Good morning, Nina.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Nina works for a photography company called Virtuance.
Right.
And today you were going to talk about real estate photography, helpful tips, hacks, and mistakes, which I'm sure you see plenty of it in the real estate world.
Yes, we do.
Now, before we start with the question, I just wanted to let you know that I love the name Virtuance. It takes off the whole virtual world and they make it classy. You guys have a really great name.
Thank you.
I also saw that you guys are in over 30 states, 30 different areas.
Yes.
Very important for people who have maybe a real estate agent who has a license in multiple states. And I also love when I went to your website, you offer free social media template. That was cool. I really liked it.
When the agents get a chance, I hope they do check out our website because we really are different than most solutions. We have support, like you saw with the free social media templates. We also have a product that's different, but we're here today, I know, to talk about all the things about photography.
Yes, to help the agent to have better photography for their listing or whatever they do. Now, let's start with hiring a photographer can be hard sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
What type of question you should ask to make sure you're getting the right photographer?
This is so important just from the get-go. I think everyone on the cast would agree that the minute you get that listing, I mean, you've worked so hard. You've had to go through many other agents out there trying to get that listing too. You finally secure that listing and it's time to put the photographs on and put that listing to shine. The most important thing you're going to do besides get those photos is hire that photographer. So right from the get-go, you have to make sure that you're working with someone that understands this is your brand. This is your brand equity that they're going to be in charge of. And from the get-go, you need to have some questions to follow so you know that you're going to get exactly what they need. So the very first question you want to start off with is what experience do they have? You want someone that's proficient in real estate photography, not someone that does weddings or headshots or does it on the side. You want someone that specializes in real estate photography because it's a whole different animal than anything else. Someone that really understands the features, the angles, because let's face it, people don't drive around like they used to when I used to go with my parents and my aunt and uncle looking for homes. Their first drive-by is online. You have 6 seconds to grab their attention and 20 seconds before they pick up a phone. So you have to make sure that you're working with someone that really understands real estate photography. Then the next thing is, do they have the right equipment? Let's say they're great, but they have outdated equipment. How good is that going to be for you? That's not going to help you in any way. The next thing is, do they have a full range of services? You want to ask the services they have. Because again, this is the brand you're building. Do you need drones? Do you want 360 panos? What services does that photographer have so you could be under their umbrella knowing that they have everything you need to build that brand so that you could get your job done? And let's face it, we all have the same goal in mind. Sell homes faster, sell them for more money, right? And then next but not least, all right, let me just make sure I want to stay. I had my green tea this morning, so forgive me if I get a little rushed.
No problem.
That being said, the next thing that's super important too is the process. What does the process look from beginning to end? You're going to need the photos. You're going to pick up a phone. You're going to call a photographer, right? How long will it take from the time you pick up that phone to the time your photos will be shot? The next question is, once those photos are shot, how quick will you receive those images? We live in a fast-paced area. Will you get them next day by noon? Will you get them next day by 5 o'clock? What's their turnaround time? And then again, fast is everything. How quickly? And then what's the format that you're going to get them back in? Will they be labeled? Will you have to search through the photos? These are real important questions you need to know when hiring a photographer. And last but not least, what's their technology like? Can it upload to your MLS? Is it sized correctly? All of those go into making sure you get the right photographer so you get the right photos. And then this kind of goes hand in hand to the process. What is their customer service like? Are they available 24/7? Do they have an 800 number? Do they have someone in your area with boots on the ground that's there for you? Because I have a funny saying in life, like life happens, photography happens, real estate happens, sellers who are nervous happen. So you need to know that you have customer service there, someone on the ground there to answer questions, because that's the last thing you want. I heard just recently from someone who wasn't using my company, who now is using my company. That's the main reason that they looked for someone different, is the customer service was failing them. And then, see, I've got everything. Yes, I do. Last but not least, okay, I'm going to give you a really big bonus last question that you have to make sure you answer. Ask the photographer. This is so important. They are an extension of your business. Okay? How will they be representing your brand when they're on that listing appointment? What do they look like when they show up? Are they a mess with photography equipment all over the place? Or do they show up professionally saying, hi, I'm Nina Hegyi from Virtuance, here to shoot Allison J. Like, how do you want them introducing themselves? Because again, they will be an extension of your company. Make sure you hire correctly. So I think that kind of outlines that. So any questions, or did I thought I got all of them.
Nina, I got already a bunch of things that I didn't even think about, and I really like it is, number one, when you pick your photographer, make sure they specialize in real estate. If you do get a photographer that said, oh yeah, I do wedding, or I do family portrait, or yes, I do real estate sometime, well, you probably won't get that person who knows exactly what are your needs. So
absolutely,
I agree. I love how you said about the timing, because it's so important. When the seller sign the listing, they want to see that listing go up as fast as it can. I love how you talk about how they're sending you the file, because I've been through so many photographers where they just send you a file, right? And you need to go through like 150 pictures, and you're like, can you just have a folder with like the best one and maybe a backup folder, or it needs to be more organized. And reviews, of course. And one that I never think about, and you mentioned, and thank you, is the appearance.
right.
When they walk to that house, are they, smiling and being friendly? Because that's your client. I didn't even think about that part. So
Right. Are they being courteous? Do they bring booties? And all those little extra touches are going to make that home seller go, oh my goodness, working with you, that will bring even more referrals. And again, it all comes from hiring the right photographer. Anyone that you have that you touch that's part of your brand, remember they're an extension of you. If I can drive one thing home, remember that images are everything, and you have to work with a partner that has the same goal in mind that you do.
I agree. Now, how can you use your image for lead generations?
Oh, I love this one. Okay. Going back to brand equity. This could be a whole other podcast. So I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. But the photos you have taken, they're just not for the MLS. Let's face it. In life, beauty attracts the eye, right? Whatever's prettier, your eye goes to. It's just human nature. So you want to make sure that you have the largest photos that show the most details. And let's say that you're brand new, and let's say that you're older, seasoned as an agent, okay? If you're brand new, you may be starting with maybe not jumping right into luxury, but luxury is where you're headed. You want to make sure those photos, and I'm going to get to lead gen, look like you're in luxury even when you're just starting, okay? So that's why having those photos from the get-go being as beautiful as possible are so important. Once you have those photos, there's a bunch of things you're going to do with them. Let's go maybe old school, not technology. Mailers, flyers, drip campaigns, all right? If you do any of those and you just have pictures, what do you think eyes are going to do? They're not going to be attracted to those, and you're wasting your money. It's like when I used to date, my father would say, you never present a date on a garbage can lid. You know what I'm saying? So why would you take your beautiful listing and present it on in a flyer not as beautiful as it can be? I hope that analogy came out right. That sometimes I get silly. But that being said, it's super important to have the best images from the get-go because you will be using them for lead gen. And if those photos aren't something that attract the eye, that lead gen isn't going to work. Now let's get a little technical. And again, I don't want to go down this road because this one could get very expansive. There's a lot of different technology sites that you could use. That was the wrong word. Facebook, Google, Pinterest, all have sites that you could use to put your photos up and talk about that listing. And all of those, and if you work with the proper photographer, a lot of photos now even come, and again, I don't want to get too technical, with meta tags. And the meta tags help increase your SEO. So the better the pictures when you post it on Facebook, Google, on Pinterest, you're increasing your SEO by the more, forgive my technical term, cross-contaminate those different sites, you're increasing the ability that when people Google that address, you're the site that it's going to come up to. And remember, when you use those sites, you want to attach your websites, your listings, so that you're crossing those technologies so that you get the most out of it. And that really is a huge lead gen. And it really is a whole other conversation. And I'm going to even go after the sale. Just put a pin in that one and talk after the sale. I don't know anyone that doesn't want to shout from the rooftops their wonderful successes. So you want to take those photos after you're done and brag. Did you beat the days on market? Did you sell it faster and for more money? Put it on Facebook, put it on those sites, put it on flyers, use them in your listing presentations to differentiate yourself and stand out from other agents. And it goes back to those photos. If those photos aren't beautiful, if those photos don't have the proper features, angles, and ways that room was shot that's going to put more eyes on it, your lead gen and everything else, it's like building on a house of sand. It's just going to crumble. So
yeah, and you represent yourself, so you want to make sure the picture are a great quality picture. Now, do you think, and I'm sure you have some stats, and I don't know about this stat, but there is a lot of agents that does not use a professional photographer. I mean, for me, I will say no way. To sell a house, you want to use a professional photographer, but do you think a lot of real estate agents like use their phone?
All you have to do is look on the MLS and you can see for yourself. And I'm going to something, when I started in real estate photography, I read a quote that came from Real Trends. And Real Trends, I think everyone knows, it's a trusted resource.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And in Real Trends, they said, just by hiring a professional photographer, you double your GCI. Just by hiring a professional photographer. So again, if you're a professional real estate agent, I don't know anybody who's a professional that wants to leave money on the table. So never, ever, even if it's vacant property, even if it's a vacant listing, you're going to make that room look bigger. You're going to make more eyes and, in a sense, price condition a buyer before they get there if you have better photos versus someone that's just going out and taking a picture with an iPhone or maybe just a camera thinking it's better themselves. Always go with the professional because, again, it's your brand, it's your business, and that is your livelihood. So
I would even say it's so important to have a professional photographer because I remember the last house I bought. Before I bought that house, I visit so many houses, and when I look at the picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to go there. Sometimes I arrive, it was not what I wanted, but you know what? I went there because of the picture. Right. And that's what makes the house sell faster. The quality, the light, you just want to go to that house.
Absolutely.
And you can totally see the difference when it's someone like just taking a picture.
Never think it's size. Like I sometimes hear from realtors, oh my goodness, it's just a small condo. I don't really need professional photography. Do you want to sell it faster? Do you want to get closer more than the asking price? Do you want to get a lot of referrals after that listing? Never cheapen yourself by taking that shortcut. Because when you do, we already showed, look at all the lead gen opportunities you're going to leave behind. So
yes, you're showing the quality of your work to your future client.
Right.
When they search for you, they're going to see what type of picture you are taking for listings.
And when you go on the next listing appointment, you're missing an opportunity. You're going to present something from a cell phone as an example of how you're going to market their property. The next agent may get that listing instead of you.
Now, what are the best rooms to capture and get the most attention from buyers?
Okay, the best rooms to capture are super easy. They're the money rooms. All right. So we all know what is one of the best rooms right now. It's the great room, right?
For me, it will be the kitchen, but
I was going to say the great room or the kitchen. Okay, the master bathroom, the master bedroom, and those really are the money shots. And those are the shots that you want to make sure you have pristine. And I know I don't want to skip around. I know some little hacks. Okay.
Capture the perfect photos. That was
Right.
Question. Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So just a couple little things that every agent, I love this. I love this idea. Just something if you remember one thing, I hope you remember this from this conversation. As a realtor, always have a bag of tricks in your car. Okay. So those rooms, let's say that the people already moved out. All right. And the room may be vacant. Your bag of trick in your car is a couple pillows, a couple throws, a pop of color to make that room look a little wow. So I'm telling you, it could be the difference between just a room looking and a room looking amazing. Okay, so that's if the people moved out. Another great thing that you have to remember when photographing those rooms, and because again, you want to get more eyes on that, is you want the rooms to look like a room somebody's moving into, not the home that the people lived in. Okay, so you want to get rid of the doggy dish. You want to take down
Glitter.
loving family pictures. And I don't mean to be touchy, but even religious items you want to have taken down because you want that home to be as neutral and as much of a blank palette so that the home buyer coming in sees themselves in that home and not you in that home. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super important. Would you agree?
What about plants?
Plants are great. Here's the big word, clutter. You don't want clutter. So green, pop of color, if you wanted to, in your bag of tricks, you could stop by a flower stand on the way there. So that pop of color is going to make the room look a little bit more wow. So those I think are some of the best tricks to get more eyes on that listing.
And taking the family picture off, huh?
Again, they want to see their family in there. I would keep it more neutral as possible as you can. Take down your personal stuff. Clutter and clean is the most important. And then two, you want, as the realtor, you want to go by, make sure the toilet seats are down. The little things that are going to make sure that you don't go, ooh, when you go back and look at that photo. So even like the toys, you want as much clutter out so that people could see themselves in that room versus you being in that room.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Now I know you have a favorite tip.
Well,
to share with us today.
Yes, I if you follow, and one last thing before we do too, before we go on to my favorite last tip, always remember too, the color of the wall doesn't matter. So people normally paint the home within 2 years. So let's say you get back a photo or the home buyer gets back a photo and the lighting of the home wasn't that great. And that'll lead me to one more tip too. Let's say that it's a gray day like today and that offset the color of the paint inside the house. Don't let that freak you out if the angles and everything else looks good. Because remember, people will paint the home when they get it. The night it's facing, I don't know if can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I didn't know if I was being filmed. Where did we leave off?
No, we are live. You're good. We lost the camera for a second. You're good.
Okay, so another important part. So the paint, don't worry about the paint of the house because it will be repainted. And then one last thing too, this is a great tip. If you know the address of the house, Google it. Find out which way the home is facing, okay? And then you'll be able to find where the sun is and pick that time as the time you want the home to be shot. It's a great tip. All right, natural light makes a room look better. All right, and then you did ask me for one big hint. All right, what is the most?
You know what? I have a quick question before the big hint. You said make sure the photographer has the right equipment. Do you have any words we can use to make sure that we know that a photographer have the right equipment?
I think you're asking me what is the right equipment they should have.
Yes.
There's certain cameras that they should have. They want to make sure that they at least have a 16 megapixel, and I want to make sure I get this right. I did take some notes. Requires a real estate professional photography equipment requires at the minimum a 16 megapixel DSLR camera with on-roll camera as well as off-camera flash, okay? Wide-angle lenses are also important, and 10 millimeter isn't uncommon, but also a must, all right? But again, you want to make sure they have the latest equipment, and you look at their portfolio too. You want to see examples of their work, and you want to also know how long they've been in business, and maybe what makes them different. I think that's very important. What makes their solution different than any other solution is also very important.
Okay. And having a drone too is important, right?
Say it again.
Having a drone and a drone license. I'm assuming you have a drone license.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Not only a drone license. The voice is a little weird. Is my voice weird? Your voice is a little weird.
Yeah, it's echoing. I don't know why, but
all right. I'll keep talking. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So yes. Oh my goodness. Do not hire the neighbor down the street that has a drone to do your drone photography. Okay. I'm just putting that out there. Drone pilots need to be drone pilots. Also, super important, insurance. Make sure the company you're hiring has the proper insurance. The minute they open up that drone and that drone goes up, anything can happen. A bird could come by, the drone can fall. You want to make sure that you are covered. Thank you for bringing that up. That is so important. Insurance is very important.
Perfect. Thank you, Nina. And what is the tip now?
Oh, the big tip? Okay, if you follow all the rules, that we follow today on the podcast, okay, the big tip is be the realtor and let the photographer be the photographer. That's simple. You have so much to do. If you hired correctly, you could take a deep breath and you could do what you do best, knowing that you've hired a partner. So that is my biggest tip of the day.
That's it. Go take care of the client. Let them do the picture work. That's it.
Well, thank you.
Nina, thank you very much. We added your website on the Facebook post called Virtuance.com.
Right.
And if anyone has any questions, they can go to the site. I believe we also have your information. Thank you for being here with us, Nina.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to helping again. It was a pleasure meeting everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Much success.